guys, welcome back to the Simple Homestead. My name is Julie and today is clean out the hoop house day. The biggest problem is going to be that box down there that Merch is at. That's where our chicks were last year and I was like, oh, I'll get to that, and I never cleaned it out. So I got to get it cleaned out because we got chicks coming. There's no chickens in there now. Later we will. We're getting our first round of meat chickens the 1st of April, and then we're going to be incubating chicks again. Hopefully we'll get a good result from that, and they'll all go in here for a few weeks until they finish feathering out, and then we'll put them in the like the chicken tractors after that. Got to get ranunculus and anemones planted, and it's plenty warm in here. I have to get a new battery for my thermometer to see what the temperature is in here, but it is warm, so I think everything I get in here is going to do fine. The nights are still cool in the 20s, 30s, and we, our days are not at a steady temperature just yet. I would have got my stuff planted the 1st of February instead of the 1st of March. I could have had broccolis, cabbages, all those things out here, and they would have been just fine. Next year, we'll try for next year, or we'll at least, maybe we'll try for a fall garden to overwinter things in here. I like that idea better. What's this? We won't be needing this for probably about another 2 months when I go to do some sunflowers and beans. So I gotta move this off to we're gonna move this off to the side till then. That's for starting flowers. So this is for our doors for down there and up here. Let me see it for a second. Hold on, baby. And it's one of these locking ones. So we gotta get those replaced next as well. Got all the mechanisms for this. Put them in a safe spot. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you talking into the phone too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, careful.
I did that.
No, we're holding up. Careful, buddy. I think I'm going to start making a pile down at this end. So for anybody that didn't watch any of my videos last summer, this entire hoop house was planted with way too many tomatoes. I ended up with tomato worms. I'm like first year out and I've already got tomato worms, tomato hornworms. So this year I'm only planting like 3 plants in here that are tomatoes. Everything else is going to be flowers, herbs, peppers, eggplants, stuff like that. And the reason I am, even though I had hornworms, I'm still going to do, even though I had hornworms, I'm still going to do 3 plants in here because I like the way that the cherry tomatoes tasted better in here than I did outside. Now, I know it's strange because people, don't like them as well being in the hoop house, but just something about the taste. I thought they tasted sweeter and better, so that's why I'm only planting 3 in here. The big thing is I had indeterminate, so they were big and they were bushy, clear up to here and everywhere and falling all over. Like, there was like no room to walk. It was hard and I didn't really enjoy it, and I'm like, I need this to serve me in a much better way. For those of you that don't know, I actually was driving past a nursery and I noticed that they had 2 hoop houses that were not being in use. I think even this one might not have even had the plastic on it anymore. So I talked to Bo about it, and then the next time I went through that area, I stopped and he said he would think about it, and he ended up calling me and saying that he would sell this hoop house. So we went, my in-laws went, the kids and Bo and I went, and we took it down, and then Bo and his dad, and I think I helped a little bit one day with a few things. We put it back together. If I remember correctly, it's like 50 feet, might be a little bit more. And then we had these old doors and windows that we put on it. We're gonna scrape them and paint them, probably the red that we have that matches, so to match our chicken coop. And I'd like to paint around like the windows black. On the ends of our hoop house, we just have like that plastic. We just have like plastic. I forget what it's called. I'll have to ask Bo what they're called. Anyhow, and then just some old reclaimed wood to help kind of frame it. This end down here, we're going to fix up the ends so that the dirt is up against the edge. And up in the front, I have two like raised beds. Last year, since I knew this was planting tomatoes in here, we kind of left a really big walkway, and still really wasn't enough room for the indeterminate growing crazy and abundance tomatoes that we had. But for this year, I might have Bo put another row through here of holes. It'll really depend on what I end up filling this space up with. I need to still make sure there's plenty of room for air circulation, so it might just stay the way it is. We'll see once I get planting this space. We opted to do this woven fabric because we didn't want to have to worry about the weeds. Then I didn't even plant anything along this edge last year. Mia's helping me right now, and Eliana's in here with me. We're gonna get all of this leftover, which I know I'm gonna end up with a ton of I think it was tomatillos that I had from my mom up there, and tomatoes. I'm sure they're gonna grow like crazy through here, so I'll have to pull them out, the extra ones that I don't want. But we're gonna finish putting everything down in this pile that I started, and then I'm hoping this weekend Bo can come down and we can bring like the bobcat or the tractor with the bucket, and we can just load all this up, load all that out of there, so that this space can be clean and it won't take me 100 wheelbarrow loads to take it clear on the other side of the hoop house. When we did the plastic, we had extra along the side, and we just kind of rolled it up and then like stuck it. I think we screwed it into this end board. What I'd like to do the next time we change the plastic out is figure out how to make it so that we can roll the sides up. But that's what we have resources to do, and that's how we did it. I have fans for here, and it did help a lot, and just the way that the air moves around here through the front door, the back door, and these windows.
And the hoop house, it does get very hot.
Yeah.
Especially in the summer.
But what I like to do, I was saying, is fill these in. We've got this extra dirt. It just needs up against because we have like this gap down through here. And this stone, we're going to level this out, and I'd like to have it right there. Eventually, this might be more of like a little bit of a pre-annual area back here. And then that's that tarp over some extra cow poop we want to get out. And then there's our garden and our animals. Animals, the garden, the hoop house, and then the house. So it's all pretty close together, which is nice. It makes it easy to use and access.
Look at Mom.
Hey guys, so we're on the second part of this video. I'm finally getting back out here to plant my anemones. Uh-oh, Marshall. I'm finally getting back out here to plant my anemones and ranunculus. Now, I was so excited about my ranunculus, and I gave some to my mom, and she's like, I think mine are looking pretty good. They're on their way back, and she's gonna let me know how they look when they get home. When they get home, we drove down to my grandparents in Alabama, and we came home on Thursday. We got home late Thursday night, and they were coming home today, and we home this early evening. So it'll be interesting to see what her ranunculus look like. I don't know if we'll see if I get anything out of these plants at this point. I should have had them out here. I got a little bit of like cold feet and then life happened, then we were gone. So we'll see what happens. I was worried about putting them out here in the hoop house and then it like maybe getting too cold for them, but I think they probably would have been okay. The anemones I started later, so they actually look a lot better than the ranunculus do at this point. This is only part of our ranunculus. Definitely these ones look really rough down there. A few of them aren't quite as bad, so I'm hoping we'll get them situated in the ground and that they will bounce back and start growing again. Then these down here are my anemones, and like I said, they're looking a lot better. I'm hoping to at least get blooms off of these, and like I said, it's kind of iffy in the ranunculus. We have these holes all the way down, and that's where I had tomatoes and peppers last year, and so maybe some basil I stuck in here. It was still way too close, way too close for the tomatoes, but lesson learned. And honestly, this is like too far apart for the flowers, but the hole's already here and I don't feel like making more holes because I don't know if I don't know if the hoop house is always going to be like a flower place, so it's just something I'm trying out this year. And you can see we never did finish quite, but I'm not ready to plant anything down the middle yet today. So that's actually on my list of things to do this week because that box down there is going to have chicks in it here in just a few days. So I got to get all of this cleaned out and ready for chicks to come. My plan is for each of these holes to put like one of these solo cups in there. Each of these cups, when I potted the plants into them, I put like a compost super soil mix. I don't think I had quite enough to do the super soil in all of them, so some of these plant cups have the compost in them, which is, it maybe was a little bit too much for them, but otherwise I think should be good to have in the ground to give them extra nutrients and hopefully help them flourish. We've actually had rain. It was raining last night and into this morning, so our dirt is pretty wet, and because we're on a slope, it's getting all that rain is coming down the hill. And it actually, like, I don't think I watered. Actually, I didn't have to do a ton of watering last summer, which was kind of funny that I didn't have to in here with it getting so hot. It just, the ground just naturally stayed more moist. But I think that's going to help too, is this area's already got moisture in it and it's not super dry.
Mom,
What, bud?
that big chicken will get me.
Well, you think it's going to get you?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I was in hospital.
This one you can see the center is looking more healthy and the outside's already kind of died back. So I think it's like this because I had these in a kind of shallow tray and they grew in there a little bit longer than I wanted them to be, and then just the potting and leaving them out, and I had them outside, then I brought them back inside, then I'm like, no, I gotta get these back outside. I'm like, I gotta get them used to being outside. And so then they were in the garage, and so the outside stuff is what had already grown the first time and died back, probably from all that transitioning of back and forth and me trying to figure out what I'm doing. But since they got in some dirt with lots of room, it's already grown and looking better. So I think that's what's going to happen with all these other plants. Once they get in the ground, they probably will have some die off on the edges, and then they should take off. I just seen our chickens. They have the whole yard. I'm going to show you. I'll let them out. And they're running towards the front of the house, of all places. There they go. They want to be in the front of the house. There's the rooster. And then scratching all over the place. My father-in-law went through the garden while we were gone, and so they've got all that fresh dirt. There's my cardboard. I need to finish. I'm going to lay it out, redo these 2 layers that the wind kind of moved it around, and then I didn't get it mulched like I had hoped to. So I'm going to remulch it so that hopefully my rose won't get too out of hand this year. Look how pretty the daffodils are, and I got a few tulips popping. And then these two black barrels are actually supposed to be to catch rainwater, so I gotta figure out where to put them. And this, hopefully this spot will be fixed up and looking nice again. Projects, lots of projects. But you can see like where the grass is growing is where I didn't get stuff planted very good last year. And that's where I like to plant once I get it cleaned up in the rows. That's where I'm gonna have like different carrots and beets. They grow really well there, and cucumbers. And then this dead stuff right through here is where I planted snapdragons last year, and I think I seen them starting to grow back, so I need to go through and probably trim them and see if they'll do anything else. But we're gonna finish working on the hoop house and then we'll start tackling all of that. Their dogs are mad because I put them away because they won't leave the chickens alone. So the chickens are out, the dogs have to be put away. Well, I'm gonna keep going. This is gonna take me longer than I anticipated to, but I actually don't like, I started with these two down here and I dug my hole way too big, so I have all this extra dirt. When I'm done, I'll clean it up and put it somewhere else, and then I realized I didn't need to pull out even as much as I have been. But I'm gonna finish filling. We'll see how much, if it takes this whole row to do the ranunculus. That's how it is. I'm not really worried about it, because this is just an experiment year. And then this middle row is going to be full of peppers, hopefully, and different herbs. And we never did put any holes on that side. So I'll finish cleaning all this stuff up and we'll probably put holes along that side so I can plant some other things that I want to experiment in the hoop house this year. All right, guys. Well, until next time, I hope you find something beautiful to grow. And you know, things happen, life happens, and so even with your best intentions of getting things started and it doesn't always plan out the way you had hoped it would, still get out there, still try to plant something. You've got many months to get beautiful things grown. We're just at the beginning. Until next time, bye now.